And though it looks like it is, I don't know. How about now? How about now, guys? How about now? We should have sound now. At least on my side, it says that we're good. I don't know for sure, though. Let's see over here. All right, let me turn this on. All right, guys. I'm not quite sure yet. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool.
How about now?
There we go. There we go. Good deal. We're good to go now. We are good to go. We're good to rock and roll, as they say. Or as I say. I don't know who they are, but I know, I know what's going on, man. How's it going now that everybody can hear me? What's up? Happy Tuesday. Happy in-between holidays, as I was wanting to talk about a little bit earlier. Good to see you in here, Barry. How's it going, man? Glad that our sound is back. So, sound is on. Ham and Egger on all kinds of hours with this stream. Yeah, dude, all kinds of different hours, Bernie. You never know what actual hours we're going to be doing our live streams on. Just know that we're going to have them at least once or twice or even 3 times a day. Probably not 3 times a day. The most I'll do is probably 2, but we'll see how that goes, And I had to keep I have to have Mr. King Cat right there in the background. Man cat, king cat, whatever type of cat you want to call him. Just don't call him late for dinner cat. That's what he likes to go by. When will then be now soon? It will be soon, Bernie. What's up, Barry Jones? How are you, man? Bernie said King Cat in the prime spot. Shamala said, happy Tuesday. Hi, Rachel. How are you doing? And then Craig, what's happening? Just got done grocery shopping. Whoa, what were you grocery shopping for? Were you getting some food? What type of food were you getting? Were you getting New Year's food, New Year's festivity foods and those types of things? Or were you just kind of hanging out and looking at the food and not actually buying anything? You're just walking around acting like you're shopping like a little weirdo. Some of us can be weird sometimes. The thing is to just not be weird in front of too many people so that they do not realize how weird you're being. And I just want to go through my notes real quick. I had another little thing that I wanted to talk about, but yeah, I just got done with another walk. How was your walks, Bernie? Have the walks been treating you pretty well? Since I haven't been able to do my runs recently, I've been going out and I've been getting I've been doing a lot of walking. I've been doing so much more walking than normal. I forgot to update it today earlier because I went and stopped by and took the dogs for their little exercise. But one thing that I've realized is, either I stay as active as possible, lifting weights 3 to 4 times a week, and all the running that I was doing previously. I more so do a lot of I do way more running during the summer and fall and, not necessarily during the winter, because the winter, like right now, I could probably go running and kind of stay on track and not bust my ass too much. But whenever it gets icy outside and there's just too much black ice, there's too much that there's so many like problems that you can run into while when you're just trying to go to exercise. I try not to make it any more complicated than it needs to be, or like take any risks. You don't want to take too many risks whenever you're just trying to keep yourself. You're trying to maintain your size. You're trying to maintain your body. You're trying to maybe lose a little bit of fat, because we can always lose a little bit of fat. But the thing that I just don't like going out there too much, because I slip, like whenever I'm walking, just by walking, I almost slip and fall 2 to 3 times per walk. And now my walks are a lot longer than normal though, because I'm covering the same distance that I would if I was doing like a 3 to 4 mile run. So I'm still walking 3 to 4 miles, but I'm just not getting it done as quickly as I can whenever I'm running it. But the thing that I've noticed is, even though my cardio isn't as intense, and it's not as in like I'm not actually running, I'm just walking. I'm doing a lot of walking. I realized that my cardio still is relatively higher than what I was expecting it to be. I thought that it would take me a while to get my cardio back up and start that running and try to, like, it would take a couple of weeks to adapt and get used to it. And it will once I increase the intensity. But right now, I just wanted to go out and do some jogs. So I've done a few jogs, and they're feeling really good. And that's without doing cardio. That's just replacing instead of doing the running. So I see Barry said, my problem is running, LOL. Exactly, Barry. That's the thing, though. You don't have to run. You just have to be active. That's one of the most important things about it. And you don't have to just go for a boring, monotonous run. You can actually do something that you enjoy. Like I'll do wrestling training. I'll do a bunch of different things. I'll go chop some wood. I'll go build a fire, and then while I'm building the fire and getting the different types of wood, that's a lot of activity there. Whenever you're going shopping, because I know Craig said he went shopping earlier for sushi and New Year's food. Even when you go shopping, you can just park at like the back of the parking lot, and you're getting those extra steps there. Anytime that I go somewhere, I normally do park in the back of the parking lot. And most people who are riding with me are like, man, what the hell are you doing, man? We're usually trying to fight to get a close parking spot. But for me, it's less hassle because there's usually a lot of open spots in the back of the parking lot than there are in the front. And I like it because there's not that many people around you, and there's not many people parking around you, and it's just that type of stuff. But I do find it really hard, and we can go jump back into the point of today, or the subject of today, which is trying to stay on top of your goals, trying to stay on top of everything that you have to manage in your normal life. As well as making everybody happy for the holidays and getting your presents and making sure that everybody is pretty happy and you're taking care of your loved ones. You're taking care of, everybody who needs to be taken care of. And it's not like you have to spend most of your time taking care of people. Not as much as you do during the holidays. You tend to spend more time taking care of people during the holidays, right, Ralph? Generally. It's not a bad thing, though. A lot of people get annoyed with the holidays, and I tend to get annoyed with it sometimes too. But it is always cool being able to see people, being able to hang out, and not stress about work, and not stress about bills, not stress about everything. Even though in the times of the coronavirus, it's hard not to stress about anything because you never know if you're going to have a job tomorrow, let alone. Are you even going to be able to go shopping tomorrow? Are you going to be able to travel without getting stuck with the needle? So on top of all that, we have all of these extra stresses, and I made a deal with Ralph and Jimmy whenever we first started doing the Shred Shed to make sure that we came out of the pandemic better than we were when we came into the pandemic. And now we were thinking at tops it would be like 6 months, but obviously it's a lot longer than that now. And I'm just trying to think of one of the things, or a few of the things, that help me stay motivated and stay on top of my goals, my fitness goal, not only my fitness goals, but my personal goals, my work goals, like all the different things that I have that I'm trying to work on. And these streams being part of another one of those goals, because it's all about building up that tolerance for more and new habits. Like old habits die hard. That's like one of there's a reason why that's such a famous saying, because we spend so much time conditioning ourselves to react a certain way to certain stimuli. And so like whenever you're walking around, and commercials are really good at that, because they'll show a commercial and they'll get you hungry, or they'll paint hamburgers, like McDonald's food isn't, like the food that's on the commercials isn't actually the food that they serve you. There's a very big disparity in just the quality of the food that they have. But that makes it harder because you're seeing that advertisement, and most of the people, what you're getting when you go to McDonald's, and it's so convenient, it's so easy just to pass through and do that. And I'm just thinking about it because I stopped by McDonald's yesterday, and I had I think I had like 2 double cheeseburgers, and it was like a high schooler special. Crispy chicken sandwich, which I didn't eat any of the bread, but this is just the meat. And I think I got some fries, which the fries defeats the whole purpose of everything anyway. But sometimes I'm a bad boy, and sometimes I'll get a little bit of that McDonald's, because it's too convenient. Because if you didn't prepare your food and you have it ready, and I know that we have like a constant conversation about this all the time, because it's just one of those things. It makes it tougher. It makes it a lot tougher out there. But being able to be on top of your goals and your habits, you have to build them up slowly. So like I've been building up that tolerance for not necessarily tolerance, but it's more of that the habit of going for a run every single day, to where I feel weird if I don't get a run in or a walk in. Now it's a run or a walk. Either way, I have to get a certain amount of activity in, because I know that it's probably not going to I'm probably not going to do it later, because it gets darker earlier and it gets colder faster. So with those types of with that combination of everything, it's not going to help it doesn't help not paying attention. You have to pay closer attention to your habits and how you're spending your time and how you're spending your days, because man, dude, it's a slippery slope, and it's very easy to lose track. It's very easy to fall off track. Anytime that I'm doing really, really good with my diets, most of the time I'm doing pretty good with my diets. I could always, there's always room to spare. There's always room to improve upon. But one of the things that I noticed with my meals, or whenever I do have my meals, is like I'm way more motivated when I do have the food. Now, on those few days where I mess up, and I not necessarily even mess up, it's like I had wrestling, so I didn't have time to prepare the food or any of those types of things, that sets you off track. So if you've been eating really good for a week, and like a week straight, no cheat days or anything like that, like forget about cheat days for a while, first of all, because the cheat days, like, you should feel guilty about the cheat days instead of looking forward to them, because now you're actually adding a lot of energy into this bad food that you're looking forward to eating. So now you're tricking your mind, because you're like, oh, that's going to be a treat, even though like every meal you have should be a treat. It should be something that's healthy but also delicious, and it also helps you reach your goals, and it also helps you maybe lose a little bit of weight or gain a little bit of muscle, or whatever your goals are. Everybody has different goals, but it's one of those things. It gets complicated sometimes trying to stay on top of that, and trying to knowing that it's the holidays, and knowing that, I don't want to explain to everybody how bad, like how much, like what my goals are and why I'm not able to eat everything that you normally do. And that's a normal time. That's what I would normally do whenever I'm training really hard for something, or I have something that I'm working on, or some type of a goal. I'm way more motivated with that type of stuff. If I don't have like a show coming up, if I don't have something to look forward to, it's hard for me to be motivated. Like, it's hard for me to be motivated right now. But that's why I want to sit here and have this conversation with you guys, because it's a lot harder to do it whenever you don't have a goal, but you should be doing it, because your goal is to try to be as healthy as possible, or at least it should be. I mean, I would think. Anyway, we'll jump back to the comments real quick before we continue on with our conversation about trying to stay, just at least maintain. You at least want to maintain what you're doing right now, whether it's healthy eating, whether it's staying on a reliable schedule, getting up early enough to where you don't have to rush to work, and you're not like white knuckling it on your way to work, and you're stressed out because, oh my God, I'm running late, because that right there will add that extra added stress, will kill you as well. Stress will make you gain weight. All of that will make you gain weight. Like the cortisol level, like you gotta be careful with all that stuff. Beastie said, Happy New Year's to you, and any New Year's goals. Yes, a few New Year's goals, but I'm not going to talk about that yet, because Ralph and I are probably going to get on here either tomorrow or Friday. I think tomorrow is New Year's Eve, right? Or is that, let me look real quick. Now I got my days all confused. Now I want to see, let's see. Boom, the 29th. Yep. Okay, so New Year's Eve is Thursday. The New Year's Day is Friday morning. Okay, so So if tomorrow, and then maybe we'll do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do a New Year's Eve stream. I don't know. Haven't decided that yet. Haven't thought about that. I just know one of these 2 days. And since it's the holidays, I don't want to get too involved with too much because we have our ghost hunting stories that we're going to be doing, which they're not really stories. They're just kind of videos where we're actually going ghost hunting and seeing how that goes. Yes, Thursday is New Year's. New Year's Eve. Friday is New Year's. Thank you, guys. Thursday. Thank you, guys. Bernie, I can relate on that. Had a breakfast Baconator and a bacon, egg, and cheese from Wendy's today. Had to break a 20 to tip my giant food guy that brings out my groceries when I do the online pickup service. Yep, that'll do it. So yeah, exactly. But once you start making more of a point to keep moving, then it'll work out well, Yeah, the 31st is Thursday. Cool. So yeah, so the new goals, we definitely have some goals. Ralph and I do. He and I were talking about that actually a little bit earlier. But we don't want to bring that. I don't want to bring that here yet because I'm not quite ready to have the conversation. Because I still I don't only want to talk about our goals. I want to talk about, yes, we have our goals, but what is the game plan to accomplish those goals? That's another thing that a lot of people don't think about. Like, it's very sexy and it's very easy to sit around and say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to get my master's, I'm going to do all these different things. And you're at a certain point, there's not enough time for you to do everything. So you have to narrow it down. You have to decide what exactly you want to focus on. What do you want to put your energy into? Joey Roberts said, I wished I had known that you wanted to go ghost hunting when you came to Georgia. I would have took you to one and it would have had the hair raised on the back of your neck. Well, we'll do that next time then. I have a couple of wrestling buddies who are going to do it with me as well. So you have to not be against recording it, but if you come, I'm down for checking that out though. I'm always down for ghost hunting. I always want to wake up a ghost and tell them, hey, wake your dumb ass up. We got some shit that we got to do, and we're going to keep it rolling. I don't even know what they're thinking whenever I'm saying we're going to keep it rolling. I'm just going to keep it rolling, guys. Come on, ghost, hang out with me. Let me know you're there. Let me know you exist, please. But yeah, dude, we're definitely going to be doing a bunch of the ghost stuff. But that's not the last time I'll be down in Georgia. So yeah, stay in contact, and maybe we'll do some live streams while we're doing it as well. Probably do that. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Bernie said, but usually when I do the Wendy's, once, maybe twice a month, I'll keep my water going strong through the day, get a good walk in, and have my salad for dinner to make sure my numbers of calorie intake wise isn't as bad. Yeah, exactly. Whenever you do, have a cheat meal or just a meal that's outside of the normal calories that you intake for that day, it's better to just stay on track. Okay, now I had something bad. Normally, whenever I have like a snack or some type of sweets or some type of a sugary food, I'll drink extra water, just like Bernie said, or I'll do an extra walk. I like to walk after every single time that I eat. That's my favorite thing. Now, obviously, you can't do that all the time, especially whenever I drive so much. But one of my favorite things is going for a walk, especially after like a dinner time food, especially at 8 or 9 p.m. I usually don't like to eat any later than that. Normally, I'll try to be done eating period by 8 so that I can do an 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Fast with 16 to 18 hour fast. And I haven't been doing that recently either. So I have to. So as I'm picking up my habits for the live streaming, so now this is my second week straight of live streaming where we're doing this every single day, and I'm progressively getting better at it. Some episodes are better than others. Others, we get more views, we get this and that, blah, 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 whatever. But it's a work in progress. It's a goal. You got to start somewhere. So, I mean, like right now, checking throughout all the different things, we got 15 live viewers right now. That's, including Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and I think Periscope. I don't know if Periscope's even working or not. It may not even be working now at this point. But yeah, this is just part of the goals that I have for the new year, and this is more in line with the wrestling and podcasting goals that I have. with that. But like even then, like podcasting goals are separate than the wrestling goals, because the wrestling goals I have some new goals that I want to be working on with that, and I'll share a little bit of that with you, but I can't necessarily share too much because it's wrestling. You don't want to give away all your trump cards right at the beginning. So as I change a lot of stuff there, you'll be seeing a lot of the differences as well. So hey, give me some compliments on that hair though. How's that hair look today? Come on. I didn't even brush it. Maybe I did brush it. Maybe I think I brushed it like once earlier this morning. Yeah, so it's interesting stuff. It's always hard, but like treating the holidays any different than you would any other normal day is a bad idea as well. So that's what I want to always try to kind of get. See, sometimes I start thinking too much ahead of myself, and then I get discombobulated and I mess up my thought process. Or sometimes I'll look down and I'll see the different comments, and so we'll see how we can get it going. But the goals are always, and I'm always harping on these things because I'm always creating new goals, always have these long-term goals, always have these different things, and we have to take different strategies to try to reach them too. That's the tough part about it, because at a certain point, if this strategy isn't working out enough, we got to switch it up to another. We got to try to see if there's another way, there's another route that you can get there, because there's always a way. You just have to find a new way, a different way. It's not the traditional way or whatever. There's always a way. I'll jump back onto the comments real quick, going back to a little bit of the ghost talk and ghost hunting stuff. So Joey Roberts said, "Remember, I own haunted history tours in Thomaston, Georgia. We do the cemetery and courthouse walk, a lot of history and death. I love it. We'll be there." I'll get up with you next time I'm down there, Joey. I'm not joking. I love ghost hunting. So we'll definitely be down with that. Stephanie said, "I got my workout already started yesterday." Good shit. Stay on top of it, though. Like, that's beautiful that you didn't wait until January 1st to get started. You just started getting rolling right away. So stay rolling. Stay on top of it and build those habits. The longer that you do this for, so like if I make it a habit of doing these streams 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, if I just make it a point, I have to do a stream 5 days a week. I at least want to go an hour. If I at least go an hour, we can go longer if we want or whatever. You don't always have to even go an hour. But the point is to always be posting, always be putting it on there, because eventually everybody's going to get into the habit of be like, okay, well, this is what we do. This is like, instead of my normal podcast that I listen to or the normal radio show that I listen to, I'll listen to the Jordane podcast or the Jordane show, where he's sitting there rambling about Mancat. It always comes back to Mancat. Always comes back to Mancat. We definitely, you know it. You know it, Barry. Rambling Ron. That's my next gimmick in the wrestling business. Hi, Georgian. I didn't know Georgian was here. I didn't see her comments. Joey Roberts said, "Paul, when I was traveling with the NWA WCW, Mr. Collins drove the bus. We were not allowed to get back on the bus until 30 minutes later, after we got through the eating, due to the fact that we needed to walk or run our meal off." Exactly. That's one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're trying to lose weight or if you're just trying to be healthier in general. Take a walk right after, and then you feel your stomach starting to feel loosen up, and it's not as tight. It's not as overwhelmed when you're having all that crap in it. But you also have to be careful with what you're eating, because you could eat McDonald's like I did yesterday and just have a knot in your stomach for a couple of hours after that, and you realize, like, oh man, my body is having a hard time digesting this shit. It's almost as if this food isn't real food. Very weird. Is it, though? Is it very weird? It's kind of to be expected. We just have to pay closer attention. If you pay attention, that's the thing too. If you pay attention, it gets a lot easier. And that's another thing. Here we're gonna go rambling. I'm gonna keep rambling. I'm trying to get through these comments real quick. I'll jump through these comments one more time, and then I'm gonna ramble about that subject that I wanted to do. Thank you guys. Talking about the hair, nice hair. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Very handsome. Your hair looks great. By the way, you all so behind those ghosts. I know. I've been talking about the ghosts for so long. The ghosts are going to know that we're coming. At this point, the ghosts have to know that I'm coming. They should like preemptively start haunting me now because I'm not going to quit. I'll be, I'm going to be chasing those damn things forever. Carol said, you were looking great and handsome as always. Thank you, Carol. Shamala said, yes, you were diverted because you saw everyone telling you handsome. Exactly. I keep diverting. And loving the wall. Boycat is looking great. Thank you. Boycat is the man. He, that's my only comment for that. Whenever I do have guests here, this is going to be the man cat wall from now on, and you have to pay your respects. Anytime you pass by the man cat wall, you have to walk by. 5 seconds of silence. Bow your head. 5 seconds of silence. Pay your respects and keep moving. That's what you do whenever you pass by a boy cat picture, man cat picture, old man cat picture, whatever you want to call him. He's one of the two, one of the three. Yoga kicked my ass. Yeah, yoga's a good one. Yoga's very good, especially if you do it regularly, because you can do strength training with yoga, you can do stretching with yoga, and you can get some cardio type Pilates type workouts as well. You can almost do everything with that. I would still recommend doing some type of band, some type of weight training regimen, some type of body weight training regimen, just to keep the muscles as toned as possible. But that's not a bad gig at all. I need to be doing more yoga actually. But that's the thing. A lot of times, like I'm all these different types of goals that I have, I need to write these down and stay on top of them, because I do have a yoga routine that I should be doing, but I don't. I haven't been using I haven't been doing the yoga practices like I should be, because sometimes I just get bored with it all, and I know that I'm supposed to do it. It's just the monotony. I have to find different types of yoga workouts that I enjoy that also help me strengthen up the parts of my body that I need to strengthen up, or that I need to keep strong, because my hips and my core is always having a tough time as it is anyway. So it's always a struggle. It's always a struggle. Barry Jones said, I thought your wrestling persona was Masked Crusader. It is Masked Crusader, but don't give that away. Don't tell anybody. George said, love the picture of the Admiral. I know. He's that picture of Mancat still, that just kills me. It just kills me. It's just so that dude, It's so him. George said, can you recommend any hair treatment? No. My hair treatment is Head and Shoulders. A couple days a week. That's it. That's all I got. Pick better parents if you want better hair. I couldn't pick them, but I got lucky with that. I'll take a full head of hair. At least I'll try to enjoy it while I can. Does it look like it's going to go away soon? Hopefully it doesn't go away soon, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know, guys. I don't know. You guys got me worried about the hair now. We're talking about the hair. Stephanie said, I have the bands too, but I intend on going back to the gym after the new year for weight training. Yeah, exactly. That's a good plan. If you stay on top of that plan, you're probably going to get some results. And most likely, they're going to be good results, and you're going to feel good about it, and your body's going to feel better about it. Your body will thank you in the long run for it. Your body will be like, hey, thanks for getting that circulation through my heart and through my body and making everything feel much better. Just try to have a good bit of variety with the type of workouts that you do. But it's like, I think it was Barry that was saying earlier, it's just the walking that he doesn't like, or the running. Well, you don't have to run. You can just, look at Ric Flair. He had the hair. Now it's just flat. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If my hair was blonde or white, I'd be pulling the Ric Flair look, which I guess I could do a brown-haired Ric Flair. I'll do a brown-haired Ric Flair. Probably better looking. Give myself that. He can have the wrestling. He can have the wrestling ability. I'll take the hair. Especially if I can get on like a Pantene Pro V commercial or herbal essences or something like that, that'd be, come on, guys, hook me up, man, hook me up. Watch. Next week you'll be seeing. We'll have our first sponsor for the show, and the sponsor is going to be some type of a hair supplement company. But now you know that I'm lying if I'm selling some hair shit to you, because I just told you I do Head and Shoulders a couple days a week. Got to clean that shit up, Stephanie said, I just need to tone up and build my strength back up. Don't we all? Rich, thank you, brother, said that the hair game is strong with this one. You know it. And Sean Cricky said, what up, champ? What is up, Sean? Representing Massachusetts out there. And you guys know I'm the New England All-Star Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, so make sure that you guys go out there and check out some of our footage that we have on there for New England All-Star Wrestling. You're good looking. Don't change a thing. Thanks, Marie. I will have to change a little bit. I have to get my hair cut soon. I'm only going to get it trimmed, though. I'm not really worried about changing it too much or getting hair color in it or anything like that. Like I was talking about the Ric Flair thing earlier. I wouldn't want to change the hair color. So I'd have to be like a dark-haired nature boy. But if I was doing nature boy, I'd be nature man. You already know. Nature man made his debut whenever... where was it? Where were we? Whenever it was Went for a Walk, Got Lost, but I don't remember exactly which one it was. Bernie said, no, you'll be overruled by the first sponsor will be something like cat food or a scratching pole because King Cat said so. That's true, too. He would use, well, it would depend on the cat food because he's very peculiar about the food that he eats, but scratching pole because King Cat said so. I think a scratching pole would work, even though he uses trees mainly, but that's because he's usually an outdoors cat. But now I think that he lives with my aunt now, so I think that she deals with him all the time. So she's always got that cat inside, always inside yelling and carrying on and doing cat things. Yeah. It's just one of those things, man. I'm trying to stop it, but you can't. Just take the 10,000 women, he claims. Oh, Ric Flair. Oh, yeah. I didn't even see that comment. 10,000 women. Is there enough time in a human lifespan to be able to have sex with 10,000 women? Can somebody do the math on that? Can you figure out, even if you did, you did 5 minutes. How about that? 5 minutes per woman times 10,000. That seems like that's a lot of time laying in bed. But I guess he's old. He's an old man, too, so you never know. I mean, we could sit here and debate whether or not we believe that Ric Flair really did get laid by 10,000 women, or we can just talk about our goals and try to better ourselves. That might be a more lucrative thing in the long run for us to be doing, too, Stop it, I say. That is a Craig. Thank you, brother. That is a pretty cat picture. Which one? Which one are you talking about? Is it the Admiral Man Cat over here, or is it Majestic Man Cat over there? Even though I see that, I might have to move that. I'm gonna put it down here so you can see his face. Boom. Yeah, but yes, I've done it. R.D. Allen said, yes, I've done it in one night. Ric Flair was there. Ric Flair probably really was there, though. He seems like one of those types of dudes. Double shots. Right, George. Bernie said, Space Mountain always has the longest line in the park. Woo! Does it really? Do people still go to Space Mountain? Space Mountain is the oldest ride in the park, but still has the longest lines. Damn, you guys are Space Mountain marks, aren't you? And Craig said it's the Admiral. Yeah, the Admiral, man. The Admirable Man Cat. The Honorable Admiral Man Cat. Honorable Admiral Man Cat. I think that's his new gimmick now. At least for the time being until I get a new painting. But this painting's going to hold me over for a while. Because, I mean, you can't beat the Man Cat. That right there, man. That's hilarious to me. That's just hilarious to me. When I opened that damn thing, it was just so funny. And go back to yesterday's stream, guys. If you guys are unaware that we did our big opening of the Man Cat picture yesterday, and man, it was a fun little episode. We had a bunch of little conversations, nothing really too pressing. I think we just did a little bit more of the normal coronavirus stuff, trying to stay motivated, trying to stay on top of on top of the things that you're trying to work on in the long term, but everything else is just making it not work. And everybody's gaining their corona. What is it, like corona curves? I think that's what they were calling it, corona curves. Which if you're already accepting the fact that you're going to gain some weight, it's probably not going to help you in the long term whenever you're trying to lose that weight. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm fine, I'm gonna gain 20 pounds. And I have gained a good bit of weight too. I think I've gained like 10, maybe 15 pounds since the winter. So I got pretty damn ripped at the beginning of the coronavirus stuff because I was really motivated, just like, yeah, I refuse. And then recently here I've kind of lagged on a little bit, but the weather's gotten colder and it's a lot harder to stay motivated when it comes to your runs. Holidays kind of mess things up as well. Trying to manage all that and keep all that in order gets complicated sometimes. But you guys know we're all in this together. We're all in this struggle together, trying to better ourselves without making anything worse, without hurting anybody else worse than they're already hurt. I mean, people are hurting out there, man. People are hurting. And we just need to be able to support each other and try to have stories for each other to help build ourselves up and help keep each other motivated to get through the days, to get through your walks, to get through your workouts, just to get through life in general, because sometimes it gets hard out there, guys. It gets hard out there, guys. Bernie said, really got to get Ron on a wrestling history lesson. Whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it's the best thing going today. Woo! Really got to get Ron on a wrestling history lesson. Get the hell out of here. You're talking about Ric Flair. Let's talk about some real wrestling history. I don't give a shit about no Ric Flair. Let's talk about Buddy Rogers. Let's talk about Lou Thez. Let's talk about Killer Kowalski. Let's talk about Pat O'Connor. What about Gorgeous George? What about Sailor Art Thomas? Sailor Art Thomas was another good one. What about, now you got me wanting to talk about like old school wrestling. Vern Gagne versus Lou Thez. If you guys go back to old school, you guys want to watch some really good old school wrestling stuff, go to Lou Thez versus Vern Gagne. It was when Vern Gagne was still very young, but the wrestling in that, man, oh my God, it's some of the best wrestling. Bobo Brazil, yep, damn right, Bernie. Yeah, I know. We do have to do like some, you're right, Bernie, that would be cool, like if we could all like just have like a bunch of different episodes talking about like old school wrestling and different forms of old school wrestling, because I think that people blend in old school wrestling as this all-encompassing tent of old wrestling, and some people's old school is different than others. Like whenever I think of old school in the modern sense, I think of 70s and 80s-ish, where like the regional territories were just about to start getting taken out. Like towards the end of the 80s, that was when the territory started losing their strife anyway. So, yeah, Danny Hodge, another good one, Barry. Barry Jones came in with the Danny Hodge, and Danny Hodge was one of those. Watch Danny Hodge versus Bullet Bob Armstrong's son, Brad Armstrong. Those two, those types of wrestlers, those were like wrestlers, though. Those are like back in the day, Vern Gagne was a wrestler. Lou Thez was a wrestler. Buddy Rogers, not necessarily so much. He was more about the flash, but he was more, he's a heel though. He was way more, like Pat O'Connor, way more of a wrestler. Back then, they were more wrestlers, and they were reaching out, trying to get, present themselves with a persona to connect with people. George said, hey, that's a nice picture. Good old George jumping in on the stream. Yeah, that picture of Admiral Asshole Cat. That's Admirable Asshole Cat. Barry Jones, tell it, brother. Man. Uncle Ivan. Yep, Uncle Ivan. I just saw, Uncle Ivan. Oh, man, that reminds me of let me think of it for a second, because now I'm trying. Let me get through the comments before I get sidetracked, because you guys know how I like to ramble. Bernie said Bobo Brazil. Bobo Brazil was over as hell. Now, going back, Artie Allen said, I did something super wrong to my groin that's affecting my lower abdomen. Tried a 3 shove of a wave on the skim, landed on the front foot, back foot missed, did the splits, haven't been able to work out for almost 2 months. Progress loss. Hooray. Yep. That's exactly what I'm talking about, trying to avoid when it comes to your auxiliary type exercises and workouts. That's the tough part, is you can hurt yourself, really. Whatever you did, like, what did you slip and fall? Like, try to shove of a wave on the skim. So you were on a skim board and you landed on your front foot, back foot missed, did the splits. Yeah, that's the thing too, because I'm practicing trying to do splits and I have not progressed at all. And now I'm starting to realize that in order to progress, whenever you're stretching, you have to stretch it until that shit hurts. It hurts. And you got to be careful with that. There's a fine line. You don't want to stretch it and tear something, but you also want to stretch it to where the next time you stretch it, it'll be to that point. But like, some people are more naturally tight than others. That's a damn thing, man. That's how it goes. I almost did the splits, but it wasn't in the beach. Actually, it was the opposite. It was while I was walking out here, and I was just walking. I was just going for a damn walk. I'm going for a walk, and all of a sudden you slip, your feet go out from under you, but you catch yourself, but your shit hurts. And yeah, it's something inside, like your inner medial hip, in that, it sucks, man. It's just one of those things where you can't do anything about it. You're trying to do this auxiliary work, and that's not necessarily auxiliary work whenever you're going and enjoying yourself, but you are trying to enjoy yourself. Like, you want to stay in shape so that you can actually go out and run and ride a skimboard on some waves, and you do that, and then you try to enjoy yourself a little bit, and then you get hurt. That's one of the damnedest things about it. Of course, you get hurt because I'm gonna go out there. You don't want to be an idiot, but you also have to try. You also have to enjoy yourself a little bit. So that's one of the toughest parts about it, is like having that balance of, okay, I'm gonna go for a run. I don't want to risk hurting myself while going for this run, but you have to take the chance, because if you don't take the chance, it's that damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't do anything, and you're never going to get any type of opportunities, because the opportunities don't come looking for you. You have to look for the opportunities. So that's one of the tougher parts about it, is you have to get out and go for it. But in order to put yourself out there and go on your hero's journey, you're going to be taking some risks. You're going to, like, the wind's going to hit you in the face, and there's going to be some cold rain with it as well. Are you going to be able to deal with that? Or do you want to go back into the house where it's nice and safe and warm? It's nice and safe and warm is okay to a certain extent if you want to rest a little bit, but at a certain point, you got to get your ass out there and roll. You got to go try. Barry Jones said, Danny Hodge, R.I.P. Definitely. R.I.P. Danny Hodge, and R.I.P. to Luke Harper. We've been losing a lot of them here recently. R.I.P. to Bruiser, that was here in MCW. There's a lot of guys passing away here recently. A lot of different reasons, though. Luckily, I think that it's all been like health related, that people can't help, other than like the stuff that was plaguing the wrestlers of the early 90s and late 2000s. Barry Jones, when it was real, damn it, yeah. Pedro Morales, yeah. Bernie Deal said, could wrestle you one night and fight you the next. That's what I like, though. Nikita was on the card in Barnesville with you. Yep. I was there with, I was actually talking to Nikita backstage. Good guy. He was a hell of a draw. Yeah. And Nikita, you could definitely see, if you paid attention to like Goldberg, and you seen the way that Goldberg's body language was whenever he was in the ring, he took a lot of what Nikita would do, especially whenever he's looking at the hard cam, and he would do like that big like that Goldberg. And it just hit me, though, because I grew up watching Goldberg, but then whenever you go back and watch some of the old school stuff that was before your time, old school stuff meaning late 80s, early 90s, you see where their inspirations are. It's just like it's like seeing the Nature Boy Ric Flair and then watching the Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, and then you can see like there's a split off where like Nature Boy Ric Flair took some of what Buddy Rogers is, but he didn't take it all. He also created himself as Ric Flair. he just had the Nature Boy moniker, and he did a little bit of the strut that Buddy Rogers did. But Buddy Rogers had his own unique strut. So did Don Fargo, and all the Fargos had the Fargo strut. So RD said, that's basically what caused it. I was in a hurry, didn't stretch long enough. When I did the splits, I tensed up and tore or strained something. I guess it's called a sports hernia, but not an actual hernia that pushes through the abdominal wall. Getting old, I guess. Yeah, that's the thing, though. You have to warm up participating in activities now. You can't just go out and skateboard. You have to warm up. Adam's over here laughing because he's like, yeah, that's what sucks. It's like, yeah, I remember a day, and Leland in the gym, he went in there and started squatting, started deadlifting, and he regretted because his lower back was getting more tight and more tense, but he could do it. Me and you we can't just jump on there and be okay. I'm going to warm up for 5 or 6 more sets first if I'm not doing a full body warm up. And you know how the shred shed is anyway. The shred shed doesn't have it takes longer to even warm up in there because we're dealing with the elements. We have little space heaters in there, but space heaters only do so much. They do a lot though. They do work pretty damn well in there too. Oh, and I seen that are we going to be able to lift today? Because I seen that all the stuff's kind of moved around. Do you just want to instead of lifting today, do you want to just go get rid of the platform then? So we'll take the platform out, take it apart, and then set up the thing, and then we'll get squats in tomorrow. Okay. Squats are back. Either we'll do squats tomorrow, squats and some bench press, or I'm trying to think about, I guess it doesn't really matter anyway, but I'm trying to figure it out because of the New Year's stuff, the New Year, how we can schedule it. But it doesn't matter because we can go in there anytime we want to. So anyway, Shamala said, oh my, yeah, that's true. That's so true. Once one of my friends wanted to try skateboarding, and he fell down and had a ligament tear. Oh, it took 3 months to heal, and you are right. We have to but we have to be careful. That's the hard time. That's the hard time because he literally got injured, and you get tensed up, and I think that I was going for a walk. You remember that walk that I told you about where I busted my ass and I'd power bombed myself off the side of a hill, and all because I was trying to do this little balance. Balance beams on a wall that was in a cemetery, and I was doing the balance beams, walking on it, and I fell off the balance beams, but it wasn't that it was very high because I fell, but my foot, my right foot came down and my left foot stayed up, and the momentum having my leg up so high pushed me backwards. And as it pushed me backwards, I was actually on this road. But if you pass by this road, if you walk across the road, there's another little wall there, and it goes up a little bit higher, so you could trip on it. But if you trip on it and you fall down, it goes downhill then. So you're basically falling downhill. So I fell backwards downhill, and I took I'm glad that I'm a professional wrestler because I took a flat back bump, boom, and folded over. And it could have been really bad if I would have tensed up. Just what exactly happened to RD, because you tense up whenever you do that type of stuff. So if I would have fell backwards onto my back and I would have tensed up, that would not have been a good thing. That would not have been a good thing. I would have hurt myself. I could have broke my neck if it had been tensed. But since with wrestling, I'm very familiar with feeling how to fall, and I cut my back. I did get a couple of cuts, but it wasn't anything too bloody or anything. It wasn't a mess. But it could have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse. You just have to try to be careful. But at a certain point, I still go out there and I do my balance beams. That was the worst case scenario, and it happened. If it's possible to happen, it'll happen. Or what is that, Murphy's Law? Is that Murphy's Law? If it can happen, it will happen. Or if something good will happen, or something bad will happen, or whatever the words are. You guys know what I'm talking about, though. Oops, had to refresh the stream here. So give me a sec so I can go back to the chat and see where we are. Boom, we're catching up. Sorry, guys. Oh, yeah, that's true. Once my friend went skateboarding. Yep. Barry Jones said, Nikita was in my time, and I am old. Yeah. Something I'd love to do with you and others, do some what-if type of deals. What if Magnum didn't get into that car crash that ended his career. Could get some great conversation and some great thoughts about it. Yeah, that'd be badass. We definitely should do that. You know what we need to do, Bernie? We need to have like a list of like 20 different subjects that we could do, and then narrowed it down, and then just do an episode on it. That would be fun. RD said, I was even able to finish the session without pain, but once I got home, that was when it kicked in. Can't do sit-ups, pull-ups, can't run harder than a slow jog, can't do leg raises for 6 inches. Bro, I can't even throw an uppercut without a sharp pain. Yeah, dude, you got nailed with that one. All you can do is just take your time. That's the worst part, though. It's just like when Ralph had his shoulder injury, and his shoulder kept getting hurt, and we didn't understand why. But every damn time his bench presses looked amazing. They looked good, but for some reason his shoulders were hurting. So we switched it up. We went to the dumbbells, and he tried to do the dumbbells, and that wasn't working. And then we realized, like, I started watching a few weightlifting videos, and they were just random. They didn't have any type of regular schedule, like subject or anything. But then he was talking about doing squats, and when you're doing squats, you have a lot of heavy weight on your back, and it tears into your shoulder. So Ralph, how long were you out for? Were you out like 2 or 3 months because of that? So like Ralph had to take off 2 to 3 months, and it's worse for you, RD, because like at least like you can, like you didn't feel it whenever, like he didn't feel it when it was happening. It was just slowly happening. Like you felt it right then, and you knew something happened, but it didn't seem like it was so bad because you could walk, like you could continue doing what you were doing. So it was really not that big of a deal. And you're like, oh, maybe I pulled something. And then whenever you come back, finally the adrenaline goes down, and now everything's kind of starting to relax. And then you start feeling the pain from where that tear was. Oh man, better to just be careful, but this stuff can't be avoided though. This is just one of those things where it's like, oh, are you a human being? Do you live life? You're going to have to deal with this type of stuff. Sometimes that's just going to happen. Do you live life? Yeah, you live life. Okay, sometimes you're just going to fall down and hit your head. Not as a baby either, as an adult. And people are going to be around, and they're going to see you do it, and they're going to laugh, and they're going to whisper to each other and be like, you see that guy? He can barely even walk. He's like a newborn. And Shamala said, I meant to say you have to try, but be very careful. Exactly. You have to try, but be very careful. Bernie said, tuck your chin and hope for a safe ending to your gravity journey. That was exactly what I did. I had to tuck my chin, and I just let it go. It's like, I'm not going to tense up. One of the worst things you can do is like tense up. So if you tense up, it makes it more likely that you can snap something, you can hurt something. So try to be as relaxed as possible. But with like as much experience I have of falling on my back and falling on my head and falling on my face and all that other good stuff, it's such it's weird because it's such a familiar feeling when you're falling. Like your body knows how to react, and like, oh shit, I'm falling right now. And even whenever I felt those legs, my legs kind of be pulled out from under me as I fell off balance and I started walking over. Once I felt that hard, rigid wall on my calves and I was just rolling, I couldn't stop myself. I could not stop the fall. There was nothing I could do to stop it. It was just it was such a mess. It was just like, it could have been so much. It totally could have been so much worse. It could have been so much worse, but ended up being okay. All I did was fall down. I actually took video of where it was because, like, to me, I was so impressed that I could fall down and, that I could fall down and be okay. Which, I fall down a lot, though. That's the thing, with pro wrestling, you fall down a lot. And Barry Jones said, do all 20. Yeah, exactly. Or do all 20. That's the thing. Yeah, but it's just tough. It can be tough, though. But it's tough, like with everything. It's tough trying to sit here and talk to each other and keep each other motivated, trying to not gain a Corona 20 or a Corona 30 or however many people, however many pounds people are packing on these days. It's easy. It's very easy. It's hard to stay motivated, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to try to keep each other motivated and try to be a positive light with each other and try to help out as much as we can, like try to help each other out, try to give each other some words of encouragement, try to be that person that you like, that motivates you, like that person that motivates you, try to be that person for somebody else. That's really all we can do because, it don't look like the viruses are going away anytime soon. They've already cut into I think there's 2 or 3 new versions of the virus out now that like the vaccines aren't going to work for. So it looks like this is going to take a lot longer, especially with people not shutting down and then people shutting down. And it's like, if people actually can shut down, will it get better? Who knows? Like some states where they shut down are still doing worse. Some places where they didn't shut down are doing better. And it's all crazy. It's all craziness. But you guys know that that's just part of the game. We're all here just trying to survive. We're just trying to get through it. And yeah, so hey Ralph, we have tomorrow's New Year's Eve, or is that no? Friday's New Year's Day. Thursday's New Year's Eve. So Thursday's like the day that people celebrate their no, not religion. Their New Year. We were both I don't know where the hell both of us were with that, but I was nowhere near New Year. And you were like, women celebrate their religion? No, that's Christmas or Hanukkah or, like any of the religious holidays. This isn't a religious holiday. This is a New Year holiday. But no, I was telling them earlier. I was about to say I don't know specifically who I was telling, but I was telling these guys earlier that you and I, like I got a question for our goals for 2020. So I told him that you and I are going to be on the podcast tomorrow talking about our goals for 2020 and what we like that we did this year, what we like that we didn't, what we don't like that we did this year, what we can improve on. Not necessarily that you don't like, but things that we can improve on, because there's always something to improve upon. So we'll come up with a couple of goals, a couple of ideas of things that we want to do. Like I said to the guys here, this is definitely part of the long-term plans with the goals here. You and I have been talking about it, So, yeah. So that's just me making plans with Ralph for tomorrow. So we will be seeing you guys there. I'm going to jump back to the comments real quick, and then we will end this. So RD, it's the price you pay to play. You damn right. Whatever you're doing, you really need to know when to rest and when to listen to your body. But it's tough when you set your goals and commit to reaching them and try to power through the minor pains, because those minor pains can apparently turn into pretty significant injuries once you exit your 20s. Yeah, those minor pains actually can get worse. Those minor pains will actually become like serious in your as you get older. Yeah, because once I hit my 30s, I know that people have these really big realizations where they're like, oh, I'm just now I feel old. Now I feel like now I actually feel old. Now I feel like, oh, I'm in my 30s now. I don't really feel any different. The main differences that I feel from the 30s, from the 20s to the 30s, is it definitely takes a lot longer to warm up. It takes a lot longer to warm up. And from what RD was saying, I can see, like, with my hips, what I was doing in my 20s definitely is coming back to haunt me in my 30s. Luckily, I wasn't really horrible with it, though. I wasn't horrible with myself on it. So it's gotten a lot better. But, guys, that's just part of it. That's part of it. You got to be careful because we're not getting any younger. And just imagine, try not to do your damage in your 30s and then have to deal with it in your 40s and 50s. My goal in my 30s is to make my 30s better so that my 40s and 50s are even better and more exciting. Because I think it's always a goal. You should always be like excited for the future. You should always be excited for your next adventure in life. Most people I don't like whenever people are like, oh, my best years are behind me. Like, high school? High school was your best years? No, don't do that. That's sad. That's sad. I mean, I guess it's not sad if that's like your happiest days, but RD said, I don't feel old until I get hurt. Yeah, and then because it takes a lot longer. It takes a lot longer to heal. That's the hard part about it, man. It sucks. But it's just one of those things. It's all part of the game, guys. It's all part of this shit that we're doing. So anyway, I appreciate you guys for joining me again for our daily stream. This was Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, Terrible Tuesday, whatever you want to call it, Zoomy Tuesday. This was a great episode. I had fun. Had a lot of fun with you guys. I think that we're going to be talking about a lot of goal-oriented stuff and staying motivated type stuff because I need it. I need it. I need to be able to continue getting better. I need to continue staying on track, and it's easy. It's very, very easy to fall off track. It was like we were talking about earlier. This is going to be a callback from when I was doing a rant earlier. It's a lot easier to just not pay attention to it, to just kind of go through your days not paying attention to what you're doing, what you're eating, how you're doing it, and that type of stuff. So we're just going to be continuously working on these new goals, building these new habits that's going to help us in the long run. And if it's not going to pay you monetarily in the long run, it's going to pay you in health and longevity and life. So, that's the thing. And I like to end this with, we'll start ending this with one of my favorite Carl Jung quotes. His quote is, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." That's one of my favorite quotes, and I'm going to put that up. I think I'm going to get that quote framed and put it up over there in my little motivational corner that I have built over here now. I have some pictures of some old school guys, and I'll show you guys on the on my Instagram though. The pictures and stuff that I have over here. I have Luthez, Buddy Rogers, Herb Welch, and then me. And those are motivating because I love the old school wrestling. I just like the old school wrestlers, man. They were tough guys, badasses back then. And I just really like those. So Artie said, I don't feel old. Yep. It was great seeing you, Marie. Glad I was able to watch your show today. It was good as usual. Thank you for joining, Rachel. All right, Carol, it was great seeing you guys. I hope that you guys have a safe day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We're going to be so tomorrow's Thursday. So, yeah, Friday. Yeah, so tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So tomorrow we're going to be Ralph and I is going to be on here. We're going to be on the stream, and we're going to be talking about our goals for 2020, or for 2021, how we felt about we did this year, which, spoiler alert, I think we both have room to improve, but that's not because of anything else other than everybody has room to improve, and the coronavirus definitely didn't help. But now that we know the parameters that we're going to be working within, and I think that it's going to be a lot easier for us to get through it. So love you guys. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So tomorrow, see, I'm getting my days so confused. Damn, caffeine's got me rolling today, guys. Sorry. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So should we just do a went for a walk tomorrow and then do closing out the year Thursday? You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we'll do a went for a walk, got lost tomorrow. I'll get a little bit of footage for that. And then even if we don't do a went for a walk, got lost, me and you will just do a stream. We'll just do like a fun shit-talking stream. Maybe we can talk about some movies. I know a couple movies that I've been wanting to talk about that I haven't talked about on here yet, so that'll be fun. All right, guys. Have fun. We'll see you all later. Joseph Brewski. No, you're getting old.